Good afternoon, Sonia.
Yeah, how you doing, Carolyn?
I'm good.
Good.
We're here for another episode of our podcast, Hey Sonia and Carolyn. And today we have
A special guest today. So we are absolutely privileged and honored to have our dear friend, mentor, and coach, Simona Spark. So Simona is a master transformational coach. She is a podcaster. For Redefining Family. She has like 5 seasons and over 70 episodes. She's an author of 2 books. Her first is No More Messy Kids, The Spark Method, and #1 release of Raising My Boys, the memoir of an immigrant, which is an excellent book. Also, a TED Talk and founder for Spark Transformation Academy. And I'm sure I'm missing a few more bullet points, but we'll get to that. So she is clearly a master of getting the damn thing done and doing the damn thing, excuse me. And so Simona, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor. As I say, before we push the record button, I was getting really emotional this morning. Just remember how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on the other sides of the table. I interview you for my podcast, and it's just, I'm just so grateful that we are here today with this roles. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of this.
That we were actually talking about how we met, and that's a pretty funny story. And we're trying to pinpoint the date and time and everything like that. But the important thing is that it was pretty funny because I went to the restroom after we took a break, and you cornered me in the ladies' restroom and started asking, or was asking if I wanted to, if you would, if it would be okay for you to interview us, you know. And my first thought was like, well, why would she want to interview us? You know, like we're no one special. I mean, we're just, you know, 2
I'm special.
2 women at an event like everyone else, right? So after we talked and we exchanged information, I rushed back to Carolyn and I'm like, this lady in the bathroom just cornered me and wants to interview us. I don't know why, but this is what she said, you know. And then from then on, it's been like this absolute wonderful transformation, you know.
It's been a wonderful friendship, first and foremost. We left that event with BFFs, and yes, and we've been to Los Angeles and had a very enjoyable, fun evening out together. We have so many conversations over Zoom and FaceTime and friendship, and so that built. And then we've also been very, very fortunate to call Simona our mentor, as well as our friend, as we've both done so much work with you. Both individually and also in some of the group programs that you have been working us through. And so we're so honored, Simona, to have you a part of our life. I truly, when I say my BFF, I mean that. You are my best friend and my best mentor. And we appreciate you.
Thank you both. I appreciate you too. And I do want to say something. So Sonia says, like, I might miss some bullet points. So one bullet point besides, you know, podcast hoster and bestseller author and all that, I'm also the lady that is gonna corner you in the bathroom. Yes, thank you for that. I do want to say something here because I think it's valuable for your audience to know. It's like, it's so interesting how we are in the same experience and we have, we are in the same event and we experience differently, right? So when you say like, what's special about us that you want to interview us? Well, I will go back a couple hours of cornering you in the bathroom and I'm telling you what was special about you. What was special about you is you stand up into a life event was over 500 people, and you went to the microphone and you Sonia took a stand for yourself and for your wife. And I'm like, damn, I want to meet this lady. I want to know her. And of course, I was looking for guests on my podcast, Redefine Family, in the modern age of LGBTQ, because I want to collect those stories of people from LGBTQ community, like how do you navigate the world when you're in the space, when you married with a same-sex person. And of course, I was like, oh, she just took a stand. She made a request in a live event. Like, I want to meet this person, period. And then when I saw you in the bathroom, like, but I was like, how I'm gonna meet her, right? Because it's like over 500 people there. It was a live event. It was like so much going on. But again, is my perception was different than yours. And it's also when we are clear on our intention and what we want, it's just the universe is just gonna arrange it in that way. So it put us both in the same bathroom.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it was not easy to go to you because it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't even know what I say, but probably something along the lines that, I like how you stand up and you took a stand for yourself and for your wife. And I'll be honored to interview if you're willing to let me collect the story. And then we walk out and then we met Carolyn, and just like all of it was just like love at the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were clandestine.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to find me in a large area or in an area where there's like over 500 people, just know, go to the restroom because that's where I'm going to be. That's my frequent hangout. So if you want to catch me, that's for anyone. If you ever want to catch me, talk to me. I'll be around the bathroom somewhere. So, but yeah, it was destined. So
yeah, but hey, there is no perfect way. There is no, I mean, maybe there is, that saying, being in a right place in the right time. But nobody's saying what the time need to be and what the place need to be. Yeah,
exactly.
4 p.m. in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, Simona, we actually have three questions we want to ask you for our listeners. And of course, we know the answer because we've already lived it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I can speak for myself.
I think it's ever evolving.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's ever evolving. But I mean, we all have to start somewhere, right? So
well, I hope I know the answers.
Well, I'm sure that you do. Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Well, it's one of the things that you get the rest of us to do so well. So I have a feeling you have your own way of getting yourself to do the same thing. So go ahead, Sonia. I love the look on Simona's face.
Okay. So
I'm intrigued and curious.
Yes. Yeah. So so I'm going to ask you to give us 3 reasons for doing the damn thing, right? So if you had to pick only 3 reasons for doing the damn thing, what would be the top 3 reasons for our listeners?
Yes.
I mean, obviously there's lots of reasons,
right?
But what are the first 3 things that come to your mind to get us started?
Yeah. A lot come to my mind because, I have a brain, but I'm going to share with what's come to my body because that's what the discomfort is. And you know me well enough to know that doing the damn thing for me means like really listening to our heart desires. And I loved what Carolyn says, that it's ever evolving. I believe that to be true, at least up until this point, right? I don't know what we're gonna be 10 years from now. But number 1 of doing the damn thing for me is freedom. Freedom of doing the damn thing, like just That is the reason. What is the life that I want to create, that I get to create it in a way that feels right to me, regardless what other people do and say, or tell me that it's supposed to be doing, or ways of doing, and so on. So just the freedom of creating the life that I dream of, even when it just looks like it's impossible, right? Do you guys capture that noise?
Yeah, a little bit of feedback. It's okay.
Yeah, it's the neighbors. I can't control when they take a shower, so we're just gonna go with it.
Okay. No, they are showering. So that's
Showering, which is, yeah, it's a good thing. Okay, so that would be number one, freedom. And of course, that could be, that has so many layers, right? Of location, of being, of money, of everything, right? Number two is this deep desire that honestly, it came from an ego, kind of like the ego was speaking first, like just of being famous. That's how my ego talked to me, you know, like you want to be somebody, you want to touch people's lives, you want everybody to know you, you want to be famous, you want to change the whole world and whatever. And it started from there, and finally I embrace it, and I learn a new way, well, what that means, right? And actually supporting and helping people. So that would be the number two. And then the number three, and this is quite recent to me, is the whole idea of legacy and what that means for me.
legacy.
Like, how do I show up in my life today? What is it that I create for my future? And how intentional I am about it, that actually could impact people now, people that I work with, but also how to make that happen like years and years after I'm gone.
Yes. I love that. Yeah, that definitely goes along with the fact that, or with what Carolyn was saying, evolving, right? Because you start out with, I want to just do what I want to do, right? And some people can look at that as like being selfish and all into yourself, right? But it's a different type of freedom, right? It's not like I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want to do, and what you say doesn't matter, right? And then we went into fame. Like, well, who doesn't want to be famous, right? Who doesn't want people? Who doesn't want the light shining on them and being out there? But then you finally realize that it's like, well, yeah, it's that. But after we get past our vanity and our famous, dreams or whatever, then it's like, okay, it's really about supporting other people. So we're evolving, right? And then it's like the big picture is, what am I going to leave behind?
Mhm.
That's your legacy. So that is like an excellent way of coming back to what Carolyn was saying, and that's ever evolving. And
Right.
it's that's what it comes down to. I love that.
And you know what? Well, thank you. But you know what? I also hold that vision as possible for everyone, or I want to be doing this work. And I want to honor, it's too much in this work that we are all doing. It's too much, vanity and ego, and it's about serving people. I'm like, you know what? Screw that. It's like, we have to honor the fact that it started with us.
Right.
And if I was like, homeless with all the documents expire, living in a shelter and so on, and I dare to dream that I'm going to be traveling the world, and that's real, right? Like that's my story. Of course I hide, because oh my God, like look around, like look at your life, like don't say that out loud, they're going to lock you up, they will think that you're crazy, you lost your mind, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's what I was back then. That was my mindset. That was my belief system. Like you don't get to dream big when you have no money in your pocket. You don't get to desire freedom when no one, and you're not even present in any system. So that was the mindset, right? But now that I'm here and I have so much shame and guilt attached to that, now I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to honor that girl, because for a second, she saw what was impossible. And I'm gonna honor that girl because all these years she moved forward, she committed, she was determined to actually make it possible.
Right.
So I'm no longer available for people say, oh, I just want to serve people and change their lives. And it's not about me, it's about them. Like, tell me, what is it about you?
Right.
What is it that you wanted? Because we can back our plans up if we are doing for others. And I mean, I don't want to sound selfish or whatever people might judge this is, but I could always get behind my plans when it's something in my soul. And it's have to, like, the seed is there.
Mhm.
And then when we show up and we actually see the results and the impact of our work and how we show up, because it's like, doesn't matter how you show up, you're going to create an impact.
Yes.
24/7. And then you look like, what kind of impact I'm creating? Am I messing everything around me, or I'm actually helping people? And now it's not about us.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of like a reflection of our action, of our mindset, of our work to look like, what is the impact that I'm creating? I'm like, okay, do I keep going here? Do I want to tweak something? Do I want to change something? But it is starting with us. And I want to honor that. Like, yeah, I no longer look into, I don't want to be selfish and it's my ego and it's my vanity. Like, you know what? Make friends with my ego. It's part of me. So might as well just be friends because we're going to be living together for the rest of my life.
I think that is
Yeah.
probably one of the most important things in like transforming who we are as a person to opening ourselves up to our bigger picture. It is that like going back to that basic part of you and honoring the story of who are you? What created you? What struggles have you had that made you step forward into who you are today? You know, so if we don't honor that for ourselves, then we can't help other people honor that as well. You know, so I love that you share that with us, and that that the story, the struggle behind all of it, just goes to show that we all have a beginning place. We all started someplace.
Yep.
And no matter how difficult it was, or how hard it might have been, there was something that was really important there, and that was the dream. So you always share your dream. Like you dream big. Like in any one of the programs that we've done with you, the first place that we always start is dreaming big. So how big was your dream, and how big is it still?
Today, well, my dream is the same that it's always been. It's just get to be evolving with me, right? It get to be adjusted. And I think at this point, we go to the number 3, you know, to like, I kind of taste what freedom is, but I want more of it.
Exactly.
And I kind of taste what helping other people and impacting other people looks like and feels like, and I want more of it. And I just, as I'm moving forward, the dream get to expand more, and I'm learning every day how to be even more intentional about how I show up, what I'm doing, and what is it that I leave behind, as Sonia was saying. Because we are showing up to create a different future that we've been destined, you know, not too long ago. Like everybody will tell us this is how your future is going to look like, and now it's screw it. I get to decide how my future is going to look like, and I'm going to show up for that. So that's the intention. No, I'm creating this future, but then I don't know for how long I'm going to be here. So might as well be very intentional about what am I leaving behind if I'm not making it to tomorrow. And I don't want to transform this into a morbid episode or whatever, but it's like, that's the reality. You know, we don't know for how long we're going to be living on this planet in this lifetime. So did I show, like, even in the end of the day, like when I'm doing my contemplations and I'm setting my intent, I like to set my intention in the evening, not in the morning. To look back and say, okay, how did I show up today?
Right.
What if I'm not making it for tomorrow? What kind of mess I'm leaving behind me, you know? Because some days are messy. I'm like, oh shit, I need to make it for tomorrow to clean up the shit that I created today, right? And sometimes like, oh, I'm feeling so good about this. And I could see how this could impact people over and over, generation by generation, right? So did I deviate? Maybe I deviate, but the point being, the dream today is pretty much the same. It's just, it looks like that it's expanding more and more as I stepping into it more and more.
Right.
I'm getting more intentional. And what I'm learning, my intention are getting more clear and more powerful as I'm getting closer to myself. I'm still shading layers of hiding, of pretending, of all of that, right? And as I get more close to who I really am, then I get to see who I actually I'm meant to be. And I'm in the process. I'm really in the process. I'm not there yet, whatever there yet means.
Yeah.
I love that because it shows that as we grow and we shed the things that we've been holding on to for so long, it gives us that opportunity to expand even more, to take our dream to the next step that we didn't even see at that point. But because we're constantly evolving, because we're constantly redefining or setting new intentions to build upon the intention from the day before, that gives us that opportunity to expand. And I love that, because what it does for me is it does this. It takes me from a place of where I was when I met you to the place where I'm constantly doing this inner work, constantly shedding the stories, constantly honoring the story of where I come from and who I have been, and then getting to know who I am today. Just like you're still figuring out those pieces for yourself. So yeah. I think it goes to show that there is a thread that keeps us all connected, and it's that we are all constantly going through this evolutionary process in our own lives, but we all go through it in our own way and in our own time, but the pieces still stay the same. We have to honor who we are. We have to evolve with our intentions, and we have to expand and get ready to leave a legacy for those that we are leaving behind us, that ripple effect that we're constantly in the middle of. I like that.
I love it. And I'm going to take from there, and from whomever might miss it, we are all connected.
Yes, we are all
connected. I truly believe in that. And I finally feel it. And I actually honor the power of that. It's super powerful to be all connected. As you guys know, like, even though I've been leading multiple programs that you've been in as my clients or my students or whatever you want to call it, I always honor that space, because I always feel like I'm a witness and I'm supported. Even though I'm the one that leading a training or a coaching or whatever, like, I also feel the love, the support, and the connection from the other side. And I think that's a part that a lot of people are missing, or it's a lot of arrogance around, oh, I'm the coach, you're the client. I'm like, screw that. You're not a coach without the client. And might as well recognize how many times the client brings at the table exactly the things that you are hiding.
Yes.
And to honor that, right? And like, oh shit, okay, I'm called to support her through this, what I'm going through the same thing. Because it doesn't matter what level we are all going through the same thing. And it might be in a different level, but we are going through the same thing. And that's exactly the reason why we are connected, because we are going through the same feelings. Energetically, we are going to the same growth, to the same experiences, while we are on the same level or different level. That doesn't matter. So I am getting, and I understand that approach, because I used to be that coach and I used to be that client, and now I'm totally getting this, like, doing it together. Like, that's what the power is. Like, yeah, I learned this thing, I transferred the things, it's implemented, it's integrated. I'm honored to lead you through it. And
Right.
that's all it is. Like, I'm honored to lead you through it. If you're ready, we are going. If you're not ready, we are not going. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It's respecting everyone's evolution and everyone's process.
Yep, exactly. I love that. Love that.
Yeah, I like how you're saying that we're all connected and we need to stay connected, in my opinion. Because to be honest with you, I wasn't really on board in the beginning as far as coaching was concerned. I know Carolyn was interested and I supported her for her, but I didn't want to be part of that because I'm like, okay, why do you want to talk to other people? And so I'm sitting here today and now I fully understand what it means to stay connected with people, having a relationship, and having support of not just your wife and family, but it's very important to have support from other people. And I'm talking about coaches and mentors, and yeah, I stand strong in that now. And hey, like we've talked in with many of our one-on-one sessions, you're talking about hiding, and that's the one thing that I was doing. And because I finally came on board with having a coach and understanding their role, now here I am as a coach, and I can say that freely now. And I love that we're connected, and how that just plays a big role. And
Well, look, Sonia, you are the perfect example of what this work does to people.
doing the damn thing, definitely.
Doing the damn thing, like, and I hear that, and we are familiar with this. You could only be a good coach when you want a good client, and this is where you are a great example for this work, because you started with your personal skepticism. I did not say that right, but you guys get in it. Just being skeptic about it. Damn, I can't pronounce that. You guys get it. And you say yes, like from the distance, just supporting your wife, right? But then when you step into it, and I watch you, and I'm here to say, like, to everybody that is listening to this, like, I watch you from program to program, how brave you were, just showing up, asking the question, answer the question, sharing, and that is the work. Because it's about showing up, being visible, being vulnerable, asking for help, sharing what it is, let it go of the need of being right and know it all, right? And now you're a coach. And I mean, it's just people that you get to help, they get to get your magic, because that's what's make you. All right, I want to say so many things, as you guys know, so let me just say one thing. Our own magic, really, our own expertise is what is it that we shifted, transform, implement, and integrated as clients. That's it. The rest are information. Everybody has access to it, and most of the information these days is free. Just Google it, you got it, it's yours. Yep. But what makes you an expert as a mentor, as a coach, as a teacher, is the things that you learn, you implement, you apply, you integrate, you transform as a student, as a client, period. That's my belief today. And I'll let you know when that changes. But for now, this is how I'm running my business. Like, I'm teaching everything from my transformation. And even that is people like, oh, you don't get to say everything about you because you're the coach and you're there to hold the space for the client. Like, no, I need to share what I went through and make it clear that your process might look differently. But it's not just information, because you have access to it. It's like, let me know the pain that you went through. How did you survive that? What that did for you? So you have an understanding, like that's what the connection is, really.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
Go buy a book or Google the thing that you want to learn. We have access to everything. We are really living amazing times right now. But the real transformation is when you sit down with the person that actually went through the things and teach from that place. And that's why we are doing a good job, all three of us, but especially for Sonia, because she started from, I don't know what this is, why would you put yourself through talking with other people and whatever, right? To just, I'm here to testify, maybe that's the word, maybe it's not. It's like, I watch you just for the past 2 years, like how much you shift and transform and all that. And it's just, you're an amazing client. So therefore you're an amazing coach. Period.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's exactly why we definitely needed to have you on our show or podcast, because doing the damn thing for the both of us is exactly that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here doing the damn thing. We never thought about being on a podcast. I mean, you know how skeptic I was, and you approaching me, trapping me in the bathroom, say, "Hey, I want to interview you for my podcast." I'm like, "Podcast? What the hell is that?" I knew a little bit about that, but now here we are. Why? Because we did the damn thing. And how important is that? Very important to do the damn thing. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. You can Google anything. Hell, I Googled you, but I can Google you, read your book, like you're saying, take notes, but it's actually working with you,
Right.
and doing the damn things is what got us here today, so that's important. And I know Carolyn had a third question, and it's so we recognize that we want to do something, right? And then we actually reach out and find people that can help us to get to that point. And then, but now our third question Carolyn came up with today was, well, how do we keep that momentum going? How do we stay in that moment to keep doing the next damn thing? Because there's always going to be the next damn thing. Like you're saying, we're always evolving, right?
Well, well, first of all, everybody get to find their own ways of doing it, right? And what I know to be true, just watching myself and watching others, is that we all have days when we just want to say, you know what, just fuck it. I'm so done with this. Like, this thing again, I've been dealing with this for years, right?
Right.
And if I will be to give like what to do is, my favorite P100, like Project 100. Start with making a list of 100 things that lift your energy, that lift your vibe, that make you feel good, that make you love yourself. Everything that goes in a space of self-love and motivation and inspiring or whatever. Like I have inspirational track on my Spotify, right? To just, sometimes you need a song. Sometimes you just need to make a phone call to talk with somebody that it's always giving you energy. Sometimes you just need to stretch. Sometimes you just need to yell or scream, or you just need to go for a run, or you just need to go and put your feet into a river, or whatever. Like, your P100s is your P100, and it doesn't have to match anybody else's. So that's what I do, because I have bad days, and when I say bad days, like days where it's just like, I can't, I won't, I refuse to, right? Just leave me alone. And what's interesting about that, most of those days appear in phases of integration. Like when I go to a big shift in mindset, in belief, or with my coaches, I unpack something that was there for a long time. Damn, like that is just like threw me off of the present moment. And that's the problem, because we are all here to do everything that it takes to be present. And when you go to big transformation, it's just, for me personal, I don't know how it's for others, it's just threw me off. It's like, I don't want to be here. It's like everything hurts. I don't even know who I am. Like, what do I do next? You know, so all those things. And then you go to your P100, it's like, okay, today looks like I'm just gonna bake a cake and binge watch Netflix. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because that's what I need. And turn off my phone and cancel everything on my calendar. It looks how it looks like. The hardest part with that, because there is the other side of the coin with that one, is to don't stay there forever.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
In one of the programs I was saying is like, hey, you have a bad day, have a bad day. You don't want to see anybody, don't see anybody. Take a day off, take a day off. But don't do two. Because if you do two, then it's a little bit harder to go back to it. If you do three, you might as well drop it all together. And when I say 1, 2, 3, again, it might look different for different people. I might need a weekend off. And I know that Monday morning, I'm going to be back on my desk and I'm going to be ready to move the mountains, right? So you learn that about yourself, but you don't know what you want until you try it. And you don't know what you need until you actually, let me try this thing. Let me try this thing. Oh, with this particular thing, all I need is a good song. Oh, with this particular thing, I actually need to just take a 2-hour bath. Oh, with this particular thing, I need to cancel my whole freaking day, right? So that's what I got for momentum, to allow yourself to be down, because the down and the lower points are also part of the process.
Exactly.
And the most important thing about that is that you don't need to be up all the time in order to create an impact. You get to create an impact even when your energy is low. We go back to non-negotiable, right? You guys are familiar with that. It's like you pick up just one thing. Yep. Like, if I have a bad day and this was on my calendar, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my best to be present here for a couple hours. Yeah. And then I'm out. But I know that if it's just one thing that we talk here that is going to shift something for one person, then this was worth it. And I did one thing that is going to create an impact.
Exactly.
So when I go to bed tonight, if I didn't do anything else for the rest of the day, I say, hey, I trust and believe and intended that one person needed to hear one nugget that is going to shift something for them, that is going to change their life. And I'm feeling proud of it. And thank you, God, for giving me the energy and the support to be present for this call, period.
I love that you say that, because I think that it gives us permission, because many of us need to have permission to do this. You know, if we're not feeling it for the day, be truthful about it. Drop into, what is it that I truly need to have today? Or what song do I need to listen to? What place do I need to go to for myself, so that tomorrow I can wake up and feel like I honored who I am, and now I can honor everything else that I need to do. You know, but I think so many people think that that's a selfish thing to do. And being that I was one of those people, I thought that was a selfish thing to do at one point in time in my life. Now it feels so good when I say to myself, it's like, okay, what do I really need today in order to feel good? Maybe, you know, Sonia will know that I needed something special today because I have a playlist that I play on days where I need a pickup, or I'm listening to a meditation out loud because it's, you know, it's got a rhythm to it, or I need to go outside and just stand in this moment for a minute. One of the most important things that I learned from you was this, it's like checking in with yourself and asking yourself, did I go as far as I could today in everything that happened to me? Because at a certain point in all of this, it came to that place. It's like, did I honor everything that I could from the place where I am right now? And from you, I learned, yes, I was. I have goosebumps just thinking about that. But what's so important here is that recognizing for yourself the place that you need to be in this moment, and understanding that it is not a selfish place to be, that it is probably one of the most healing places that you could possibly be in that moment, because it gives your soul, it gives your body, it gives your mind time to honor where you are in that moment, and then be able to move on from there.
100%. And we all being taught and encouraged, and it's very valuable and powerful, is we need to meet our clients where they are. And it's our job to meet them where they are. But I never heard anybody teaching like, I need to meet myself where I'm at first, before I even go into the session with my client. And it took me a couple of years to be okay with saying, hey, okay, we are here. I'm having a really fucked up day. I don't know how we're gonna go through this. Or how many trainings that I was like, I wish I won't have this on my calendar today because I was going through something. But you show up, you share with your people like, hey, this is where I'm at today. And this is what come out for me like this morning. Like how many times I have the things planned and then I taught something different. So I'm not saying that that's the right way to do it. I'm saying that's the way that I'm doing it today. And it feels authentic and honest. And I no longer ashamed or embarrassed or of showing up from where I'm at. Right. And some days are great and some days are not. But again, we don't need to be all high vibe in order to support another human. But what is required, in my opinion, is to be honest about it.
Yes, right.
You know, including to the things that trigger us, you know, like how many times they're like, ugh.
Yeah. And I think that's an important thing to recognize too. It's like, we're so good at holding space for others, you know, for meeting our clients right where they are. But my biggest thing is that I can never take somebody, and I learned this from you, is that I can never take somebody beyond where it is that they are if I haven't already tried to step beyond where I am. And to move forward through the muck and the guck, and to honor the triggers, not just for my clients, but also for myself in that moment. And sometimes it comes down to the space of journaling about that at the end of the session. It's like, okay, why was that brought up for me? Who was I being in that moment? What was important about it? You know, so it feels good in this point in my life to be in a space where I can actually say, oh, I need to honor this for myself today. I need to take care of myself in this moment, and then I can come back and I can be in service, which is where I love to be. But I can't be in service every moment of every single day, because I have to fill my own cup first. Because if I'm not filled up, I can't fill anybody else up. And those are hard lessons to learn. Those are really hard lessons to learn, especially as people pleasers, because I was epitome of that. I
remember you like that.
Me too. I remember that.
Yeah. And I'm so happy to meet the new you that learns how to you know, powerfully put yourself first, so you could encourage others to do the same. And that's what all this is about, right?
Exactly.
I mean, look, it's my life. Am I gonna waste it by living it how other people tell me that I should be living it? And I'm gonna be just go through fire and learn how to overcome whatever BS been put on me, so I could actually live it in a way that I want to live it.
Yes.
It's coming down to that. And then and it's also, I feel like it's our duty at this point. Like if we transform something and we shift something and we understand something and we become closer to ourselves. It's like it's our duty to teach another person. Like that is the impact. And then how you do it, it doesn't matter. You do it as a coach, you do it as a designer, you do it as like, it doesn't matter. There's zillions of ways of doing it.
Right.
But like, what are we doing? Like, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a teacher, or like, we are all doing the same work in a different ways. I learned something, I understand something, I could help another human, might as well go do it.
Yes.
It's that simple. It's nothing complicated about it. It's that simple. It's all we do. And then you call yourself whatever the hell you want to call yourself. It doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you just do the damn thing.
And then you
Just go and do the damn thing. It's like, what's the thing that you want to do this? Okay, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
How I'm gonna do it, I don't know. Just step in it and you'll figure it out, and you're gonna fall and you're gonna get up and you're gonna learn and you're gonna keep on going, and then you learn something else, and now you become somebody else, and now you see new ways, and now your brain function differently, and now you have new neural paths develop, and now you have new skills, and now you have new data, and now you see something else, and now you want something else, and now you go for it, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
just do.
Yep. I love it. I love it. I want to give you the opportunity to share with our listeners what you're working on right now. And that way we can get them into, you know, the things that you're doing. So if they're interested in working with you, how do they get to do that?
Well, thank you for that. Something shifted, and I want to share that. Like, we've been all thought about, you know, you have to have a call to action, and you go to the spaces, and then you need to invite people into your programs and whatever. And I don't do that anymore.
Okay, good. Don't do it.
So I do believe in we are connecting energetically, and I don't know if it's the right way or the wrong way to do it, but I'm telling you what I'm doing, right? I do believe in we energetically we connect with people or we don't. And I know for myself that if I listen to a podcast or I do a program, or I listen to somebody and it's really capturing my attention, I know how to go and Google, right? As Sonia says, I Google you. I'm Googleable, so go ahead and Google. I will share though that the way that I run my business now is like, again, when I go to a new level and I shift new things, is usually come a program out of it. And that's how I roll. And the new one, it's coming up. We are starting tomorrow. And I don't know when this is going to be posted, so it might be relevant or not. But most important thing that I'm working on is my academy. And I thank you for allowing me to share about that. So Spark Transformation Academy is the place where everything that I ever created, I'm downloading there with the intention of reaching more people. So up until this point, everything that I created was the clients, the students, the people that I have in my groups, in my spaces, with kind of personal, like I know these people, we work together, and was like intimate and so on. But one thing that I'm really proud of what I did, and I want to invite others to consider, is I always recorded everything. And while I was hoarding all this content in my computer, we're not going to get into that because that could be another episode. I finally decided to release it to the public. And that's what I want to invite, if I get to invite people in to look into the academy, knowing that it's under construction. So there is a lot of things that are working, things that are not working, and hopefully all will be done to have an official launch in December. But that will be the space where people could go and shop, if you wish, to see what programs, for how long, what they offer, and what they need, where they are. And
yeah, and you are Googleable.
Yes, very
So,
Googleable.
yeah, and I get that. I understand that. If someone catches my attention, I will take the next step to find more information about them. So That's good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to sell that much anymore. And it's just, I mean, how many sessions we have about selling and how to position and how to do the fee and the investment and it's not, because it's just they're it feels like two different things, a price tag to inner work. Well, yeah, you could charge $3, you could charge $300,000. All of them are possible and all of them exist. But the point being, am I connecting with this person? And then it's not about money, it's about the work that this person does. And it's if I'm hearing, if I'm feeling, if I'm inspired to be in the same space. And that being said, also honoring that it might not be, and clients are staying or living, and we evolve differently, and then when we are not going in the same direction, we are not going in the same direction, and it's nothing personal. It's about, again, going back to the beginning, honoring where you are, honoring where your coach is, honoring where your client is, and don't take it so damn personal, because it's not. It's everybody get to choose what is good for them every single freaking day.
Exactly. I love
Yep.
that. Having a choice, being present to what is important to you, and then finding the person who meets you in that space and gives you the space to work on what it is that you need to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Well, go ahead. Did you have
no.
another question?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Actually.
Simona, is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yes, I want to share everything with your listeners.
That's great. I like that. That's perfect.
I do want to say this. I want to congratulate you two guys for creating this space. I am honored to be your first guest. Like, my ego is boosted, so thank you for that. But I want to congratulate you and thank you for creating this space. As I told you before in our private calls, is I believe and I know that you could really share some valuable insight about how to do life together as a couple. And I just want to invite the listeners to come back over and over and listen to what you share. You have such a long relationship, and not just long, but like loving and filled with insight. And I assume here that you're going to bring more gas, so that is just enriching the space to get more perspective in. And that's what I want to share with your listener, to invite them to come back over and over and get the nuggets, and just get that one nugget. You don't need to get everything, just get one thing and implement it and apply it, and allow it to shift something for you and give you a better living.
Wow.
Exactly.
We are so honored to have had you be here. I'm sure this is only the first of many times that you will be a part of this podcast. And we just want to thank you for sharing your insights and giving us a minute to chat with you today.
Thank you. I love you both much, much, much. Borderline,
Yeah, inappropriate, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to make it a point to corner someone in the bathroom just because I can, and find someone interesting.
Like, hey, if that's something that's shifted for you as a client, might as well apply it and see how is it when you turn the table. It's like, how is it like to just corner somebody in a bathroom and ask for what you want?
Exactly.
Copy paste.
Yeah, exactly. There's a good example of copy paste. That's perfect.
Again, Simona,
Yeah.
we just want to thank you so much for being a part of our podcast today. And this episode will air Wednesday for sure this week. And so thank you again.
You're very welcome. Thank you both. Well,
All right. Enjoy your weekend.